Hello and welcome everybody to Epic Tales from the Sewers. We are doing a live stream with our friend Dave from Dimension X Toys talking about the Dimension X Toys Showdown number 2. So, Dave, how's it going?
Hey man, how you doing?
Good, good. It's
So the sewer showdown, it's go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it's a great day to talk about some
Oh,
turtles.
okay. Sounds good. Yeah, so the sewer showdown, for people that know, is an online art show. So it's basically just any form of art, either 2D or 3D. So I'm talking 3D, I'm talking like art toys. A lot of people already know about these customs that people make. So people take and make Ninja Turtle customs with any kind of theme. That's allowable in this event. We're just trying to bring forward creativity, bring forward the community to just basically make any kind of Ninja Turtle related art and then post it all at the same time on March 19th, which is TMNT Day.
That's great, and you've got the right day for it too. You know, with this, so it's an art show that's going to be on March 19th at 6 p.m. Central Time, and it's going to be on Instagram. You have some assets on the website there and all that. So how do you want people to format their entries and all that? How's that going to look?
So basically, you just take a picture of your art, whether it's 2D or 3D, and you add my logo that says Dimension X Toys Sewer Showdown. It's the first logo you're going to see on the website, and it's both. You just right click it to save it. If you're on a computer, if you're on your phone, you just click it. It's going to bring up a drive download. And then from there, you just put that one of the corners of your image and you post it right at 6 p.m. Instagram has this feature where you can actually schedule a post. So they could go ahead and do that, or you just post right at 6 p.m., whatever works for you.
That's perfect. So that's good. That gives everybody the option of just having it ready to go. And you want that hashtag dimension or no, just sewer showdown 2 on there.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Thanks for adding that. I always seem to forget all the little steps. And to be
Yeah.
honest, that just makes it easier for us to find it because what we're going to do is when we go live, we're going to bring up that hashtag and we're just going to start clicking on them randomly. But I also will have ready the different accounts so we can just go through. And that's something that the guy Brian, I'm actually going to go on a show before the night before. He's very good about that. He did a whole review of the first sewer showdown, and if you go and watch that, you'll get an idea what type of artwork.
Yeah, that's good. Like I saw in here that you had mentioned about ALE Jedi Knight is your favorite 2D artist. When did you guys start working together?
Who's that, Brian?
I had is that I don't know his first name. I just have ALE Jedi Knight.
Al Jedi Knight. Okay, so he's my artist that did all the artwork for the show. So he is definitely a very talented artist. He's in Chile. I would love to see other people use him for their artwork if they have any custom Ninja Turtle stuff they need made. He's very good. He's very quick. He's very affordable. But he did all the artwork exclusively for me since I've started this Instagram account. Like whenever I started getting more into like just just getting artwork out there in general. If there's any ever idea that if there was ever an idea that I had, I would call and reach out to him, and he would just come up with the most amazing stuff so quickly.
And it looks just like the old box art from the Ninja Turtles action figures, so it's so spot on. It's so good.
Yeah, like that style, like that's definitely the most nostalgic to me. I recollect the reissues just for the artwork alone. If they put them on different card backs, I wouldn't want them. But if they use the original card back artwork, I'm so drawn to it. I just love seeing it like up on a wall. So I use them as little art, little I like to hang those ones up. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and I know people who are collecting the back of the card still with all those sort of things. Like they'll snip them out and they sell those. So yeah, it's definitely
Yeah,
still
the
there.
little
So,
artist bio or the little character bio. That's
mhm.
also just a very nostalgic part of all of it.
Did you save your pizza points back in the day?
So I tried to save my entire card back, but my mom was very much so just like trying to make things more neat, and I'm pretty sure they just got tossed after a certain point or recycled. I think she recycled them, which is still not great for somebody who wants their old stuff back.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you don't quite get the nostalgia of it. Would that be great if we could still use those points and just like find a way to bring them in the community. It's like you earn some pizza points and you're gonna get a
I
free
think
T-shirt or something.
I think we need to bring it back. I have dreams of starting a toy company here in the United States, which I know would be a long shot, but I've actually started working on making my own injection molding machine. And
Hmm.
there's a Canadian guy. I'm sure you're familiar with him, the guy that did Turtle Power,
Isaac, yeah.
Isaac. Yeah. Anyways, he's actually already doing it. I said it's definitely not impossible. He's doing it in Canada. I'll be trying to do it in the U.S. So I know it's a long time coming, but I definitely think it's possible to bring back toy manufacturing. There might have to be some new tricks that are used, but I think it's possible.
What would be the first toy that you'd want to produce?
So I'm going to start simple. I'm going to focus on little buddies. If I had to just shoot just something that has no articulation that I can just throw into an aluminum mold and blow the plastic in, hand pull it in, I'm going to start with something simple like that. There was a guy, you might be familiar. I can't think of his Instagram handle right now, but he did a little buddy for Dirtbag, and it was like a little
Oh,
mole. Man, I'm trying to remember what his Instagram handle is. If I remember it later, I'll share it to you as a story or DM it to you.
oh, that's pretty fun. Yeah, that'd be cool. That kind of reminds me of the old days of like Muscle or even Army Ants or
Yeah,
something like that
yeah,
when we had
yeah,
those. It was just
exactly.
like maybe Battle Beast. Well, Battle Beast, I guess you had the arms put on, but man, can you imagine like Turtle Battle Beast? That would be a great size for them.
Oh, that would be cool. Absolutely would
Yeah.
be cool.
Man, that's awesome. One of the things I wanted to ask about is with your show in terms of like structuring and all that, because you're going to be hosting this with your co-host, which is the Epoxy Crusader, and you guys are
Yeah.
going to be talking about things while you go. Um, are you going to be critiquing the art? Are you going to be doing any sort of like either giveaways? Or you're going to be doing like prizes or anything? How does the structure work?
So the last time we did it, we did it with just him as my co-host, and then we had a couple guys on. So my friend Luis Mattis, Epoxy Crusader, he's from Mexico City, and he does speak both Spanish and English pretty decently. So the one of the artists that we had on was Hemo Adventures, and he strictly did not speak much English at all. I'm sure you're familiar with the Hemo Adventures, doing some really cool customs, and so he'll be there in the beginning for sure for any Spanish speaking people that need that extra assistance with translation. And then from there, we'll have multiple different guests come on, but Epoxy will stay on most of the time. And we will probably do a couple little giveaways. I'm going to throw on some stuff because I'm a toy hoarder. Let's be real. I have all kinds of stuff. I could easily
You have
get
the
rid of a few
coolest stuff.
things. Yeah. But I did want to do a raffle for my giant Android, but I was thinking at the same time, I was like, might take away too much attention from the other artists. So I think I will hold off on doing that this time around. I think I'm just going to do the show and just focus on that'll be a separate event or a separate ordeal. If I do decide to raffle the Android off, it's going to be mostly should be all focused on the artists of the community. It's not going to be focused on stuff I did. So that's going to be something that might be slightly different than before, but I think that's for the best. And we're going to have different guests on, like even some of the sculptors are coming on, like Steve Berner and Scott Hensey
Nice.
and Howard Chang that did the concept art for like Slam Dunk and Don and a lot of the characters that Varner did.
Wow, that's quite the crew that you have there. I mean, just going through this, I was just looking at like the names on the list that you had there for who's going to be joining. So, Death by Toys, Dano Brown, Epoxy Crusader, Bastards of the
So
Multiverse. So many.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, those guys. But a lot of those guys are my good friends, like close friends. Dano was going to come on, but I think he said he's got some family issues, so he's going to back out. But we still have Death by Toys, which is one of the biggest accounts, and the original guy that did the sewer slashers. I'm sure
hmm
you've seen them, the ones with
yep.
Donnie Kruger, and you see a lot of these other people like Toy Synopsis kind of like going off and making them, but those were originally by Dan Polydorus, Death by Toys, which I'm guessing you already know.
Well, that's exciting, to get in on those things, and I the fact that they're even available at any point because somebody makes them, it's like one of the exciting things. And I like toy collectors and the customizers because you guys were the first ones to create those characters that nobody had a chance of getting from the Playmates line. Like I wanted a Jaguar or like a Dreadman so bad, and then I'm like, oh, DeFoot Toys made one. This is
Yeah,
fantastic. So
DeFoot, those are special guests also, which they're talking about pre-making like a video, and I was like, I was so gung ho on doing StreamYard, but I'm kind of confused with like or how someone like Scott Hensey's going to figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to bash him, but he's an older guy, and I remember when Dave the TMNT collector had him on, he said he had to call him like an hour ahead of time and walk him through how to join a live stream. And I'm like, yeah, these guys are not from this tech generation, so you
Yeah.
have to be mindful of that. And that's why I said I'm just going to stick with Instagram's native live function instead of StreamYard. I was going to do exclusively StreamYard, and but you got to pay for that exclusive. You if you want to show like videos, which was one of the things I wanted to do, you have to pay for their $80 a month tier or whatever to get that. And I'm kind of hesitant to do that because it just seems like an unnecessary expense. And if it's going to be too hard for someone like them to get on, I don't want any hiccups during the live stream, as you might already know as someone who hosts stuff like this.
Oh yeah, I had John Rhys Davies on one time, right? So Gimli from Lord of the Rings and all
Are
that,
you
and
serious? Are you
you
serious?
talk
That's
about
really
like
cool.
yeah, so you talk about someone who is not tech savvy and all that, and it's like okay, make it as simple as possible. And his handler was like, he has an iPad, he can handle hitting one button, and then just let him talk, and that's
Yeah.
how it was. And it was like okay, this turned out great, but it was like a 2 hour conversation where like Gimli was just like talking at me. Like this was like during COVID times, and we were talking about the film Grizzly 2: The Revenge, which was really really just like this interesting Jaws but with a bear. And man, he plays the hero, and but like I said, it's the tech generation. He's not. He's okay to swing an axe. Or maybe drive a boat in Indiana
That's really
Jones, but
cool. Yeah, I think
yeah.
I just watched the trilogy not that long ago, and I was looking at it, and I remember seeing some clip saying that he actually had some phase of confusion or something after being dressed that way for so long or something, and he went into like a I don't know if that's some I don't know like he went kind of crazy with like the whole he got too into character somebody said or something like that.
Oh, geez, like a Jim Carrey sort of thing where he thinks he's Andy Kaufman. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like he went into becoming the character of Gimli too deep, and he started thinking he was Gimli even when he wasn't on set.
Oh, jeez, that's crazy. Yeah, no, I didn't encounter any of that, but I can understand what you're saying because we want to keep it simple, stupid, as we say in the sales industry. Make it as easy as possible for your guests to get on, and
Yeah,
hopefully there'll be
yeah.
there'll be room for Varner to just get on and talk about everything. So, you know, oh, that's fantastic. What are you looking for in an art submission? Because I saw on there that there's some rules and such, and like the big rule was no AI, which is
Yeah,
is probably the
that's really
best
the
rule
only.
you could put out there. So
Yeah, that for me is just. I think AI should be used for like computing things or making our lives easier or being the robots that do the work for us. Like, why are we? Why do we? They should be doing the work and we should be doing the art. That's all. That's what I believe, and I'll always believe that. But like I said, there's just no place for it in creativity in my mind. Like maybe use it for to generate an idea, but don't post it as something that you made. Like that to me
agreed.
just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So any medium, so it does not necessarily have to be like a created like a custom figure or something like that, but it could be a painting. It could be something like,
Yes,
are you open to
absolutely.
like people writing songs or things?
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah. I think any form of art that's not AI is a valid form, and you can just I don't know if you can post a picture of your song, or I guess you can post a reel of your song. That's
mhm.
actually a good idea. I've never thought about somebody doing a song, but yeah, any
Wink,
form of
wink,
artwork that you
TMNT
could take a
collector.
picture. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know he's like he does music and stuff. I've seen his little shows on Instagram a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think
But
that with maybe like futures, because I know maybe we're not there yet for this one, but do you think that in the future there's room for like fan votes or anything for like a prize or a trophy of some kind?
actually, that would be really cool. I don't know how would implement that. I mean, I guess you could do number of likes or something like that. But at the same time, I don't like promoting that idea because I don't think it should be about likes. It should just be about creative expression. And I know that sounds cliche or cheesy, but it's just the truth. I mean, we shouldn't be comparing ourselves to others or comparing ourselves to likes and all this other stuff because there's so many factors that that are at play. Like I've seen people that are way better artists than me get less likes on something than me, and it doesn't necessarily mean I don't know how to go with this other than there's all sorts of metrics that are at play now. And if you're kind of in like a space where you've got a high amount of followers, like you're gonna have a better shot than somebody who
Oh,
because
sure, yeah.
everything's so oversaturated right now. Everybody that comes on these apps is trying to get followers, and it doesn't happen that quickly. So I just think we just need to move away from that. Like I like your idea of like there being like a community vote on somebody's product or somebody's project being cool or awesome, but and that could be a prize for sure. But like I said, I don't think I'd want it to be likes because there's certain algorithms that just don't allow for people's stuff to get viewed if they're a certain type of artist that might not fit into the correct box, if that makes sense.
I think your answer is just absolutely better than that because it's like, yeah, why would you? So maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's not like, oh, who's going to win this day or anything, and how would you even quantify it? So yeah, I think that's great because at the end of the day, comparison is the thief of joy. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
you know,
exactly what I was trying to say.
I tell people all the time when I see all these people like posting AI artwork and stuff like that. I said I would rather see you scribbling in crayon on a napkin than posting that. That you think
Yeah,
is so
yeah.
cool because Raphael's wearing those Converse shoes and Yankee hat.
But
Great,
guess
man.
what? But guess what? He's got 5 fingers.
He does. You know, Not even that. It's like I could deal with so much, but it's the nostrils that always get me. I'm just like, what are we doing
Yeah,
here? Like let's
yeah,
go back to when they had that
yeah.
regular beak. So and shout out Tim Laddie, he agrees with me. So
All
so
right.
shout out for that one. So
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you.
sure.
Oh, go right ahead. Go right.
No. Go ahead. I'm waiting for what you got.
I was going to shift here to you're hoping to build a 4-foot technodrome. What is that process like, and have you made any progress?
Yes, so it's still in the design phase, but we've decided on basically doing somewhat similar to the Technodrome, the Playmates one. So it's going to have the ability for both the arms to open up. My buddy in Kentucky there, Bastards of the Multiverse, he has a 4-foot printer. So he should be able
Ooh,
to in theory be able to print out the pieces once we get them designed. So it's going to start with a 3D scan, which I have a scanner and so does my friend Justin. He's going to scan it there because he's better at scanning larger objects. And then between me, myself, and our other friend Mark, my friend Mark is more horrific on IG. He's done a lot of sculpting work. He's a master sculptor. He does toys for Mondo. You remember the Baxter Stockman for Mondo that they just
yeah,
recently
yeah.
did? He sculpted that for
Wow.
with James Groman's artwork. He's a master sculptor. We're all kind of decent at sculpting, but Mark is like next level. Mark is like he does stuff for Mondo and Bottlenut Gallery and all these other big companies, and he's always whipping stuff out at like a very rapid rate. So we're gonna have Mark help with the digital sculpting end of it, and we're gonna take and make this giant 4-foot technodrome. I want it to be like the cartoon. Like in the scene in the Neutrinos episode where they blow the hole out the top
Yep.
and they take the Neutrinos car and escape. I want it big enough that you could have that hole in there or a piece that could fragment and be
Come
removed.
on.
Big enough for a Neutrinos car to come through.
Holy crap. So obviously your giant size Android Krang body would fit nicely into this.
Because it could be when he gets big in the episode where he gets big. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's just so amazing. So and you're going to populate it with you've got like just the regular Playmate size turtles and the Neutrinos car. So do you have to print
I'm
that
no,
car or
I'm thinking no, I actually did design a Neutrinos car. I haven't printed it yet. But I made it more like I wanted to do NECA figures just because they're so much more true to the cartoon.
yeah.
So I want to match the cartoon interior of the Technodrome, like the big room with the portal, but I want it to have like 3 or 4 floors inside of it at least.
Hmm.
Whatever it can accommodate in that where it still looks decent to scale. I want it to be just like the one in the cartoon, how it was massive in comparison.
I always liked how they had in that I think the first miniseries they had like the floor that drops out like the pizza where it's like those
Oh
triangular
yeah,
sections that
yeah.
fall out. I don't know how
Yeah.
you do that other than just like sculpting it into the floor, because you're like, well, obviously we're not gonna, send him down into a dungeon, but I always thought that was so cool. And then the big
Absolutely.
dimension portal and all that,
Yeah, that would be an absolute necessity, and then maybe just like some good photography shots of like the grappling hook going up into the climbing up in there. You know how it would just be so massive in those early episodes. It just drove me nuts how that toy was nothing near the scale it needed to be.
yet it was
There,
one of the most desirable ones that they ever had.
oh, I'll never forget. I convinced my mother to buy it for my brother for his birthday. We were in a Meyer. This is Michigan
Yep.
Meyer store, and it was $50, and I remember that was a lot of money back then. And what still is, I guess, if you're poor, which I am. But anyways, convinced her to buy it for my brother, and yeah, and then we immediately somehow figured it out. I don't know how we figured it out, but when I think it was on the box. We got the sewer for the following Christmas, and we realized you could hook them together.
Yeah,
All
they've got
because of that box.
that tube that you could put them in, and then you could throw like the mace ball with like the spike ball down the sewers and such. So
Yeah,
I had the
yeah.
sewer. I never had the Technodrome, so now I'm chasing that one. So
Well, you could get the remake, but I guess they made it a little smaller, so now it's not as desirable.
I've heard the eye doesn't stay on very well. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, it definitely falls off. I have one of the reissues now, and I actually gave my one sewer that I did have to my buddy Ninja Turtles. This was
Oh,
years ago.
Joey.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
I first got on Instagram, he became one of my first friends. And
Joey's the
yeah,
best. Shout out to
yeah,
Joey.
that was during either what, maybe 2015. I think was when I really started collecting and recollecting, let's call it. But I got all the stuff I had when I didn't that I wanted when I was a child, but never did get, and then all my stuff that I had as a child. So that was all. And then I had that sewer, and I had nowhere for it to put it. And I'm like, Joe, if you want this, man, it's yours.
So do you keep what you print, or do you just mostly give them away? Is it just about like the chase for you? Or is it like, oh, I need to have this giant
It's
size
just
Mondo
the
Gecko?
joy of making something. I mean, I honestly don't revere them as highly as some people do. For me, I mean, I have a couple up on a shelf, but I mean, if it's a character that brought me joy, like I think I still have my Casey Jones on my wall, just
Oh,
standing up
cool.
on a shelf. Yeah, if my son wasn't sleeping, I'd run in there and show you everything. But right now, I don't have a lot of stuff set up. I live in a pretty small house here in New Orleans, so it's very minimal what I bring out and show off, anyways.
Oh, that's still really cool though. Just the fact that this stuff exists, and like you'd see something like larger than life and you look at it, I go back to the Mondo Gecko one because I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I wish something like this existed from that time. And I'm like, when are you doing a walkabout? It's like just going crazy.
Yeah, the Mondo got raffled. So when I first was doing it, I was doing raffles, and I don't know, making at least enough money to make it worth my time. Because I would sell raffle tickets. So those first two that I did, the first one was a Muckman, and then the second one that I raffled was the Mondo Gecko, and then I just kind of cooled it with the raffles because I know IG is kind of anti. I think you're trying to sell anything or anything like that. So
Yeah, probably.
basically, I took and gave the foot soldier to Dave because he had helped me do the couple raffles that I did do. Dave there in Canada, Dave Fawcett.
The Guinness
So
Book of World Records holder for
he said
most
that,
TMNT memorabilia.
yeah. He said that didn't count though. He said my foot
No,
soldier, because it wasn't official merchandise. It didn't count as one of the numbers for his score.
that's fine. He's got enough. But I mean,
Oh, I
we
know he
just talked
does.
last week. He's got some awesome stuff. So I mean, to have that as part of the largest collection, I mean, come on, you know,
he,
that's
he
really
always
cool.
he always points it out anytime I jump on his stream for just a second. So I'm always grateful. It reminds me of old times. Because when I think about Instagram, I think about a crew that's changed completely, probably since the pandemic. Like there was so many guys that used to be on there, just that aren't on there anymore. I guess it's just because Instagram with changes with the times. There's people that used to be all on Instagram aren't on there anymore that were on there
Yeah,
maybe like back during the pandemic.
probably same with YouTube, and I don't even know if Facebook is doing much with
So
this,
are
but
you mostly on YouTube or are you on IG too?
I'm on everything, man. Like literally
Oh,
everywhere you
okay.
could be.
I got
Any
you.
place
I
that you
got you.
want to find turtles. So, you
Yeah,
know?
man. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Yeah, it sounds like you've had some very cool guests on your show.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And we're always looking for folks like yourself because I like to highlight those people who are like special standouts in the community where it's like they're either doing something really cool, but it's not like you played, Michelangelo in the third live action movie. It's like, no, you like 3D printed a giant Krang android body. I'm like, to me, that's something that we should be talking about. So it's like you're
Well,
like
thank you.
exactly the type of guest that we're looking for. So,
Well,
that.
thank you. I appreciate that. So another thing
Yeah.
you might find cool that's on the website is I did a trading card deck. Maybe you're already familiar with 88 artists all over the world. That was a project I did. I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. I can't. I don't even. The time blends together at this point, but I'm really trying to put that in the right hands. The original agreement was anybody who contributed a card would get a deck of the cards, and I had no intention to profit anything off of this other than a deck of the cards for myself. But I
Nice.
was hoping to put that in the right hands of a company who can fulfill all that, make them with holofoil, make some really cool variants,
Oh,
and
yeah.
get all the artists a deck as they were promised or whatever. So that would be something, if you know the right people, I'd be interested in knowing.
Is that like a Kickstarter or something or like an Indiegogo?
I could do a Kickstarter. I never have. The original, my buddy in Kentucky there also works at a print shop. He was talking about getting them all printed, but that we would not be able to do holofoil, which I was kind of
Hmm.
hoping for like those cool variants. But all these are on my website. You can go to the same homepage and scroll all the way down. You'll see something that says Turtle Community, and it's you'll click on it and you'll see 88 different artists from all over the world. It shows all their cards, what country they're from, what their name is, what their Instagram handle is.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, and honestly, you've got a really good like your website is set up very, very sophisticated. This is awesome. It's a lot of the artists that I talk to or the writers, like they can't even get that piece figured out. So,
Well, I
you've got a
actually have
really
my friend.
sophisticated setup.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm trying to work on it every day. I'm trying to make it more of a destination. I have a lot of Easter eggs hidden on that website, showing people where I don't know, like the secret sewer maps. I have a download for that where people can go print those. I have a download for I don't know, lots of different random Ninja Turtle stuff that I have collected over the years, and you can go on there and download it or print it out yourself if you want, like those old sewer maps and you want to color them in.
That is a great tip. So now the listeners or the viewers will have to go and they'll have to take it out and just see if they can
Oh, there's a
find those.
lot of
Like,
them. There's a lot of them hidden in there,
oh,
and usually it's after you read something or there's a petition to save Playmates toys, which I know is probably not going to happen, but there is an Easter egg there if you go fill out that at the bottom. There's a download for some stuff.
so weighing in on this, are you a fan of Mattel taking over the license or anything? Or
I don't feel bad about it. I just wish Playmates was still in it. I mean, they're not really taking it over per se because you still have NECA and all these other people that still have the license. So, I mean, it's just, I don't understand why, unless it's just so expensive for them to upkeep it that they decide it's not worth it. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I personally would love like a Scratch the Cat reproduction or something like that, which I know maybe that would throw people up in arms that have paid thousands for the figure. But I think it's a figure that everybody should be allowed to enjoy. And if they
yeah,
just and if they did reproduction, they could make some very defining features so the collectors would be okay with it, if that makes sense. Like you could put reproduction of Scratch or something, reproduction 2026 or something, so nobody's ever trying to pawn it off as an original.
I got the Super 7 one and I'm fine with it. I'm like I spent $35 on this and that's as close as I'll ever get to a Scratch and I'm definitely okay with that.
And maybe not to get, I'm not trying to get political in any way, but maybe with tariffs, maybe people weren't wanting to spend as much, or maybe Playmates couldn't make enough money. But
Oh,
at
the
the same time,
plastics.
charge me $15 for a reproduction figure. I'll still pay $15. I mean, just talking about just like right now in the world, like where we're at with toy production, I know things are kind of in a murky spot. So I mean,
Hmm.
but everything's going to smooth out over time, so we don't have to worry about anything like that. And I think if there was these reproduction figures or even some undercover turtles, I would buy them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like it just released all of the Donatellos, but just change the mask color so you get like a 4 pack of undercover turtles. Absolutely. I'm here for
Yeah.
that. Well,
Yeah,
that's
so that's
awesome.
that's what I'm saying. Even if you had to charge us $15 to make the right amount of money to make it worth your while, keep the license. But I don't know. Who knows what those words were exchanged? Maybe it was more so that they just weren't producing enough profit for the mothership. I don't know.
Yeah, and just from talking to you for a little bit, I'm gathering that you're definitely a Donatello type. Like an engineering
Oh
minded
yeah.
brain and all that. So
I love Donatello, and I also resonated with Leonardo because I've always thought of myself as a leader. At least in the groups that I formed online, I have a sculpting group. I have that group of cards that I did. I mean, I've always thought of myself as a leader and as a engineer type.
I can see that absolutely. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So, with this, I just kind of want to give everybody the idea of where to find this. So, it's going to be at Dimension X Toys on Instagram on May 19th, which is Ninja Turtles Day, right?
No,
World Ninja
March,
Turtles,
March,
or
March
March,
19th.
sorry,
You're good.
March 19th at 6 p.m. Central Time. They can just hop on Instagram. They look you up. You're going to be there. You're going to be streaming with the Epoxy Avenger, and you guys are going to have the whole show.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. Is there anything else that we want to tell the listeners before we get going here, Dave?
So it's just bring your creativity, and even if you the sign up for the event has actually already passed, but if you want to join Rogue and just use the hashtag Sewer Showdown and put the logo on your thing, no one's going to know the difference. I just can't handle having to keep adding names to this list. There's about 100 people, so I'm done with adding names to the list. But you can still feel free to participate in the event. We want your artwork in this event. I want everybody to feel welcome, and I want it to be an amazing art show that highlights hundreds of artists.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll be following closely, and I'll share as much as I can. And man, thanks for taking the time to just kind of go over this and just preview this for all the folks that are going to be interested.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. Thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, no problem. All right. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, take care.